Welcome back. Alright, we're continuing along with the Witch's Hut build. So last time we left off, we finished on the river here, and I still need to go in and adjust this tree, which is incomplete. So let's quickly open up the build thing, and we'll just dive right into it. I think overall over here looks pretty good. It looks very swampy, and it does sort of just end, but that's okay. That's the entire scope of what we're looking for in this build. And actually, the water level is a bit too low. I'm gonna have to figure out some way to denote. So when you import this slab, it actually shows, hey, this is where the water level should be, because otherwise it's kind of hard to tell. So let's fix up this tree here. Nature. What is this tree right here? We have some of the parts already sitting on here, and snapping did work, but not 100%. Yeah, this tree just looks a little. Maybe what I'll do is I'll drop it in a little bit more. Yeah, that's the play. Okay. That way you hide the little rings there that are on each of that are on that tree. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate this one around so it doesn't look quite the same. And as I've mentioned, perspective is a bit of a bitch. And sometimes you move something in one direction, it looks perfect, and then you look at it another direction, it's completely off. Okay, so let's see if we can get a top for this. This looks like a decent top. So just throw that on, snap it. Obviously too high. And that looks pretty good. So what I actually might do is copy that tree. Perspective gets me again. Let's bring up the build level. Actually, let's just sample it from here, and then we'll just copy it. I think that more or less gets it. Oh, it does. Awesome. So we're gonna throw this guy over here. Right there. And we'll rotate it. Actually, maybe what we'll do is we'll just undo that. We'll rotate it before I drop it in there, so it doesn't look exactly the same as this other one. And then we'll just run underneath this and just get rid of those extra parts. Okay. And then what I think we need to do actually is sort of the grasslands here, this grassland tile is too grassland, like this nature outdoor tile, this grassland that we're using here. It just doesn't match with the rest of the swamp. It's okay as like a little, as a, what would you call it? Like a, oh gosh, no, I can't remember. As a, sort of an extra effect, sort of a contrast, or a focal point. Oh gosh, no, I can't remember. Anyways, I think there's just too much of it, because we don't want to build a grassland. We want to make sure that we're actually still building a swamp. So what I want to do is add a few more of these sort of other elements. And just sort of put them in here. Get rid of one of that. Just make sure that I'm building it out such that it focuses on it being a swamp. Okay, so, and I'll do another one over here. So the overall plan with this, I kind of just jumped right in, but we're going to sort of flesh out the exterior of the building, and then we're going to work on just adding some additional features and interesting things on the back side of this. And what we'll probably end up doing is, once we're finished that, we'll end this video, and in the final part we'll go in through the cleanup stage. And the cleanup stage is something that you definitely want to do if you're going to publish something, and it'll just make your life easier when you're running the board. You don't have to worry about anyone having issues sort of running your board, or like being able to actually run the board in TaleSpire, like on their computer. And that is a valid concern. Okay, so this guy, move it down a little bit. That works. See, we got all these gaps and stuff like that. That can all be cleaned up, and that's what we'll target in the cleanup phase. And then we'll make the sides of this a little bit nicer, so that looks more like something you put on a tabletop rather than just built completely virtually. And I really kind of like leaning on that. The more I've seen of TaleSpire, the more I like getting it to the point where it's actually more of a virtual tabletop. It's actually something that you'd imagine being on the tabletop, rather than something that maybe can only exist digitally. Oh, oops, I keep pressing the wrong button there, so we're just going to do that. What I wanted to do is drop it down. Drop this one down here, and throw that guy down here. And I feel like adding these extra bumps and sort of non-completely flat terrain adds a lot of texture. Especially when we're trying to build out sort of a swampy area. We're going to have to make sure these gaps are minded, though. What I'd like to do, actually, is maybe put a little bit more bushes up here. So let's go out here and let's look what we got for bushes. So we can... one of the tricks I've seen other people building on TaleSpire is actually using these trees and sort of dropping them into the landscape. And actually, I think that works out a lot for little bushes and stuff like that. We can definitely maybe even use some of these trees naturally, because they do sort of work. Maybe actually, while I'm over here, I'll throw kind of like this tree here. So maybe we'll just throw it in down here, just to give it a little bit more. Well, not everything is based on this giant gnarled tree here. There is some sort of greenery tree over here. Maybe we'll actually throw this one over here. Well, yes. There's little pieces of tiles. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself with the cleanup stage, but it'll definitely pay off in the end. It'll just sort of it's a little extra detail that maybe is really easy to miss, but it gives an overall feel to the quality of what you build. And I honestly think it kind of pulls everything together, kind of polishes it all off, and allows other people to really sort of see what you're getting at. And then, of course, it allows them to easily build off of it, which is very nice. Giving others the opportunity to build off what you've put in is really good, especially when you can quickly add this to other sort of existing campaigns, or maybe other areas that you could just drop this in and sort of maybe change a few tiles out, or maybe put in like a transitionary border around it that sort of you can fit into more boards than maybe just specifically on a mud or a swampy area. Okay, so let's put in a few more of these vines. I like these vines a lot. They seem to work quite well. We'll just rotate it so it doesn't look quite as repetitive. Although I don't know if I actually... Oops, grabbing the wall there. Undo. Undo button is a little weird in TaleSpire, I gotta say. When you modify something and you Control Z it, it'll actually just remove that tile. And then you Control Z again, and then it puts it back into place. So it's very strange that they sort of, that's the way in which they expect you to interact with it. Okay. So, this is a lot of nature sort of detail that we're going to put out here. Now, the concern, of course, is that you don't want anything to look, let's say, repetitive. But we also don't have, TaleSpire doesn't have a giant library, so its library is great, don't get me wrong, but you have to sort of place things in a manner such that it actually sort of works, and you can sort of get more from one single piece than you may traditionally be able to. Sort of creatively place things so that they work in such a way that allows you to expand, get more value out of them than you would normally if you had just placed them sort of right beside some other object. Let's grab a few more of these. And actually, I like these ones over here too. They sort of, this is like an undergrowth sort of bunch of leaves building up here, where it gives a little bit extra. Let's bring that up a little bit actually. And then I really like these plants. And we'll just shove one back here. They do sort of go with the swampy sort of look, although you gotta be careful, right? These are pretty close. Although the nice thing about these plants is even in real life you have a lot of sort of, oftentimes you see these sorts of plants in a large quantity altogether. So it sort of, it makes it easier for your eye to recognize that it's not necessarily the same object, or if you rotate it a bit, you can get away with having the same object appear multiple times all in a row, as long as it's not completely repetitive. So I'm building up back here with all this greenery here, because actually underneath, if we remember and we cut away here, underneath we actually have, let me pull it up a little bit. We actually have this overgrowth of trees and stuff coming into the side here. And now one thing that I'm thinking about now that I'm looking at this, the amount of roots here really dictate the existence of a big tree. So let me go grab this. I'll just, that's not what I want to do. Okay, select, that's what I want to do. Let's throw this tree at the back here. It's sort of, it's grown here. It's gnarled into place, and it's sort of eaten away at this tree, this hut, and that way we can have it maybe overhang a bit over top of this building, the hut, a little bit more, which I think kind of gives it a little bit extra, right? It'll give it a little bit more texture when you're looking at it from one side. A little bit more interesting things to look at. Visual texture is what I mean there. So let me just see if I can, maybe I'll just select these guys again here. There we go. Okay, so this is where the rest of the tree parts are. So, I do like this one over here, even though I know I said in the last episode I don't like it. once we finished off that tree, and once we made it a little bit better, it was actually totally workable. I don't have this lined up properly at all. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks all right. There's sort of a bit of an overhang into the tree itself, or onto the hut itself. I'm gonna grab another one of these. Find the right spot here. Maybe rotate a bit. That one's weird because it has an extra, it's a little bit too thick along the top there. Maybe we'll throw this one in here. And that one merges perfectly. Maybe that's actually the next piece in the whole chain there. And then we'll grab some of these other little ones here. These ones, I don't know if they fully go here, but honestly, if you just sort of shove them in here, they kind of work. And that's really what we did across on the other side too. Because it feels like without sort of these green extra bits here, they really are missing. There really is a missing sort of chunk or missing point to this tree. Like it doesn't feel like it's complete. It feels incomplete. So what I might do is actually hide that with a bunch of vines. So you can't quite see the trunk. Now over there you can kind of miss it, and also it's in the background. I might actually go back and sort of fix it. And then what I'm thinking, actually, instead of this one up here, we'll grab this 3 one. Just drop it in like that. Yeah, okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find those vines again. There. And sort of, yeah, drape a bunch of these off of here. We can hide it. And where did the rest of those go? Okay, so got some smaller ones here. I think I'll be able to get away with putting on this side. Lower it a bit and sort of like just to hide the trunk so you're not really seeing it. And the same goes for this one. This one you can definitely see the trunk, and this one, the more I look at it, the more I see it. So I'm just going to drop this a little bit further down. You can't even see the trunk inside of it. And then, yeah, we'll throw some of these guys on here. Sometimes this snaps perfectly. Like I've just been noticing, like, sometimes you get the perfect snap, but a lot of times you really got to play with it, which is totally fine. I get it. It's not always easy to snap exactly where you'd want in every scenario. Okay. Well, I like that tree. I think that tree adds a little bit more. It sort of grounds the entire structure within the rest of it. And I like this little archway here. Kind of looks like something that you'd see that's sort of ritualistic. So I wonder if we go into the camping section, there's a bunch of these camping options. I think if we throw maybe a campfire out here or something, maybe like a big bonfire. Yeah, too bad they don't have like a giant bonfire. It's almost like you'd want something like triple the size of this. I wonder if there's anything I could, maybe if I threw one of these in and then put this in on top. And then maybe if I grab the fire, because there is a fire, and then take the fire in here and just sort of like toss it on top of, you can't see the pot underneath. Okay, now is this the place that I want to put it? I don't think so. What I want to do is I want to move this well here. Let's sort of move this maybe down here. And then what we'll do is we'll add some like little stones or something across here. Let's see if we got anything for stones. So nature, I know there are these pebbles here, which could work. So rotate a few of them, just get them a little. Alright, and then maybe we'll put a few here. That kind of works. Actually, you know, I'm going to put a few more down just on this section here, just to make it a little bit more obvious. There is actually some sort of path or something like that, some sort of well-used area here. And then maybe we'll throw this big old stone here. Just as a little bit of something. Just on the edge here. And then what we'll do is we'll just shift it a little bit into the rock here. Yeah, that looks good. I think I'll need to add some more green out here, because that's one thing that is missing. So what I'm thinking this section, so this fire, this bonfire that I've created here, just move it. Oh, I'm gonna grab those extra pieces, so let's get rid of those. And then cut. And then we'll just undo, because I want those tiles back there. And then we'll throw this, you know what, I kind of like it. Yeah, let's throw it like right there. And then we'll throw this one sort of here. And we'll get rid of these guys. And I'm just going to shift over this little bit there. Yeah, it looks a little bit more like a bonfire. Like, you'd want something really, if Bouncy Rock is watching, a giant bonfire. Something that's, you know, 10 feet tall or something like that would be great to throw in, like, even like in the middle of a town or something like that. That would be really cool. Like a snowy town, throw a giant bonfire in the middle of it. That would be really cool. You could have a sort of a festival around it, or you could just have it burning all night or something like that. Something that really is a focal point for the town. There is some snow stuff in here, which is very cool. But it's not. But I don't know how extensive that is, and I think a bigger bonfire could work. I like this skull, but honestly, it does not fit within the rest of sort of what we got going on here, and the coral does definitely not fit. So what else can we do? Ooh, I like these things. Alright, so let's bring the water back up to where it should be. So we just want to look at where those lily pads are. And I'm just going to chuck a few of these in here, these sort of water lilies. Because I really do like them. Yeah, see, they've already got a few on these lily pads that I placed earlier, but I think I might actually, now that I'm looking at all this stuff, I might throw in sort of some additional detail around here. No. Where are those cattails? Cattails. There we are. Alright. And then let's throw in a couple of lily pads. Oh, maybe I did place. No, I did not. Okay. Sorry, I was thinking maybe I did place that lily pad with the lily flower on it, but nope, I did not. Okay, and then you know what? Over here, I'm just gonna place a couple lily pads as well. Because this lonesome lily is too lonesome. It needs something else with it. Now, I know that lily pads traditionally, they'll all face each other like that, like the inside, because generally they're all sort of growing from the same root system underneath. But, like these ones, honestly, this one should be turned the other way. But that's okay. I'm going to take an artistic license on this one. And then, okay. Cool. Alright, back to this side. So let's actually take a look at some of these grass items here. We'll go down to nature. And we'll start laying in some of these ones here. Just because they're quite nice in the way they merge. And then what we'll do, actually, over here we'll grab this one and we'll just actually leave a pool over there. And maybe actually leave a pool sort of up here. That doesn't make any sense. No, I lied. We will leave another pool down here because it's sort of closer to the water. And I, again, put that in not the correct spot. Okay. That one's good. That's kind of interesting. There's like a very slight gap there. Ah, okay. Well, rotating fixed it, but that's really weird. Yeah, it does look weird when you mouse over, but that only happens in build mode. So if I turn off build mode, you won't see it. But as soon as we go back into build mode and you sort of mouse over, and they start wiggling when you mouse over them. So only thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to rotate the sun just so I can fully see everything on this side. And then I think I want to add a little bit more greenery. So let's add one of these guys down here. And you know, I'm not loving it. Okay. And then can't have too many of those logs. Like I have 2 of the logs in this entire build. And if you put them too close to each other, you'll definitely see that those are like really, their eye sort of snaps right to them. They're very recognizable. Like these ones also, those rocks with those sort of designs on them, they are definitely also recognizable. Something your brain sort of like picks up and recognizes patterns instantly. And then we'll just grab this one and sort of put it in with this Venus flytrap. And then maybe we'll do a couple bamboo reeds over here or something like that. I don't know. Actually, you know what? We'll do that. We'll have them growing out of this pond. It'll allow me to do that. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to get in some of these actual green tiles. So yeah, so where am I going to put them? Probably put like 2 here. Maybe I'll put 1 here. Another one here. Here. I'm just sort of spreading them out just to give a little bit of more visual interest. And then we'll throw one down here as well. And I do think I should raise and lower some of these guys, so we'll do that just to provide again a little bit more visual interest stuff here on the top. So actually, it looks like there is a direction. Oh, I already removed it. So if you leave them, it looks like if you leave these grass tiles with the mud tiles, it actually sort of merges and makes them kind of nice for the side portion of it. But it looks like you have to rotate it a certain way. Yeah, that's why I think I saw the gap over here. There's actually one side of these tiles that is slightly longer than the others. Probably intentionally, I don't actually know. That's a good question. Okay, so let's throw a little bit more detail on this right side here, even though you're basically never going to see it as a player, I don't think. But I just kind of want to put a little bit more over here. And then, what do we got? It's like an obsidian or something like that. Those are like something you'd find in a mine. Maybe we can do... I don't love it, but it does work. We sort of hide underneath the rafters up here. And then we'll throw another one of these guys. Nope. One of these props here. Okay, I don't want to do that. I wish there was an easy way to grab it, and there probably is. I just probably don't know what it's called. I think that might be too much in the same area. So if I grab these single ones, I can probably design my own. Sort of looks decent. We'll throw this one here. That works. And then I'm gonna grab another one of these tiles. And then we'll grab a few of these trees and these like bushes here. I'm just gonna rotate this so that I can add a little bit more detail underneath here. They're not actually going to be full-on bushes, but just sort of like merging them in a little bit adds a little bit of green to these mud tiles. I feel like these mud tiles could use like a little bit more. I guess building a swamp is not... You don't really have a lot of options for building a swamp, but honestly I think it's turning out pretty okay. Hopefully you are too. Is there any sort of sticks on the ground? Sticks would be great, like more ground clutter. I guess I can throw some more roots out of here. Maybe some more roots from this thing. Just like general sticks, I think would actually be really handy. Just sort of something to... Actually, I'm going to drop this down. Put that down. And I think I'm going to move these mushrooms over. And these ones too. Okay. Yeah, like ground clutter is like one of those things that you, like it's... When you're trying to put a lot of detail in, ground clutter is just really nice. So I hope they add something like that. Although I am fine with what I got so far. So I'm still happy with this game. Like, don't get me wrong. But I think a little bit more ground clutter could go a long way because I think it would give a lot of flexibility. Sort of like sticks, maybe some leaves. Like I really like the paper, the scattered papers ground clutter here. It's nice. It doesn't really work for... of course, now I'm going to throw some underneath here. It doesn't really work for exteriors and nature and environments. And I think I will actually throw a few of these out here. And can I build a little stack here? Does that work? Oh, it does. Nice. I'm just going to move this over a little bit. Oh, it's cool. If I can line it up properly, that will look cool. Yep, okay. Actually, I bet you I could even add one more into here. Yep, there we go. Now it looks thicker. Cool. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll just slide this out a little bit so it's a little bit less noticeable. You don't want it full, like you want them on separate layers so that you don't have any sort of, I believe it's called Z fighting, where the texture will actually, because they're on the exact same point, like they're on the exact same plane, they'll actually fight and the engine won't know which one to display, so it kind of just flips back and forth. You can see it in older games or anything that doesn't have like the best polish. And actually I believe it's even in one of the earlier videos in here. I think when you overlay some of these wall tiles, you actually get it. Do I have an example of it? There's probably one underneath. Of course, now that I'm looking for one, I won't find one, but that's okay. I thought there was one earlier in the build, but maybe not. Yeah, usually you just see them as like little flickering, and it only happens when you pan the camera. If you're stationary, it doesn't matter, and that's actually not a big deal so much in TaleSpire, because most of the time I imagine you're going to be stationary. And now I just want to put a little bit more ground clutter out there, and I think right here this is looking very dense, but this is not looking dense at all, so it's like kind of out of place. Like it kind of, your eye draws towards the part that's not very dense. So let's take a look at that. Let's see if we can drop some stuff into there. And you know what? I might be able to get away with dropping this sort of thing. Yeah, this sort of brambles, I suppose is what you'd call it, into there. And then let's add maybe some more mushrooms. Okay. Let's rotate the sun here. Yeah, see right here it needs something. So I'm gonna grab this grass tile and I'm just gonna throw it in there, and then I wonder if I can do sort of the trick where, no, it doesn't really work on these ones. Some of these rocks stick out. I've seen a few other uses for these where the rocks sort of stick out when you stack them. It doesn't work in this instance. The mud doesn't stack well with it, which is fine. And then maybe let's throw in a few of these. Maybe what we'll do is we'll just get some additional ground clutter here. Yeah, that works. And then what am I missing in this corner? There's something that I'm missing. A tree. Yeah, let's grab a tree. One of these trees here. And then maybe we'll do... is there an alternate tree? More swampy tree. We got these ones here, which are definitely swampy, although I'm kind of already using them, but that's okay. Okay. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. And then actually let's move this guy out a little bit. So, yep, I'm into it. And then, you know what I might want to do is actually grab a couple of these vines here and throw them sort of growing down one of these sides here. Cool. And then what else can I do? So out here, we're sort of good over here. We just need something over here. So let's do... I'm running out of things to put. What do we got here? What is this? Sort of like some sticks out of the ground. Actually, that's kind of cool. So let's throw like that here. There. And then we have, ooh, this thing is kind of cool. That thing up here, it does look like a, maybe like a totem or something. You know, she's carved down this tree. And then a few of these guys out here would actually sort of tie the other side of the swamp together with this side. So maybe we'll do another one of those. I think, is there another dead tree? There is. Okay. Yeah, that works. And then we just need to put a little bit of something here because it's a little bit barren. I know it's not actually barren, but it's not very... It just looks a little plain when you look at everything else. So, what are we missing? What are we missing? Let's look into the props. It's weird because yeah, when you do the water dropper, the eyedropper tool, it doesn't actually switch which section you're on. So if I'm already say in the props section and I grab a prop, it takes me to the right spot. But say I'm in the tile section and I grab a prop here, it takes me the prop section, but actually I'm not in the prop section. Like I'm still in the tile section. So to click off, I have to. If I wanted to go back to select a tile, I'd have to go back and forth. But that's something minor. I don't know. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I realize it's early access. Okay, so let's add maybe a few of these roots. Sort of creeping out of the bottom of this. Sometimes the grid likes to stay on, and sometimes it does not. Okay. And then maybe what we can do... Oh, I think that's it. So if I press shift and like leave it on, it'll keep the grid on. And that actually seems to lock it. I see, okay. And then if I press alt... Yeah, it looks like if you press any of the modifiers, it seems to lock it to a plane. And then you just sort of press shift, so you can just sort of grab it where you want. Tap shift. Okay, that's actually not that bad. Okay, I'm getting the hang of it. I'm getting there. Okay. And add some more mushrooms maybe into this corner here. I don't like these fancy ones. And then what we'll do is we're gonna add another one of those green tiles in. So let's add this guy. There we go. Because you don't want it to be just exclusively on mud. That kind of looks weird and out of place. And then let's go back to the prop section. And let's go into the what do we want? We want the camping section. That's what we want. Okay, so out here, I like the selection of beds that are in here. And I also like the selection of tents. But in this scenario, I don't think I'm going to use any. This extra shelter out here. Maybe... That seems out of place if I put one out here. Maybe I'll just throw, like, she went out chopping wood. Just hasn't gotten to her... to actually get cutting that down into blocks here. And then maybe if I go into crafting, is there a woodcutter's log or something like that? Doesn't look like it. And wood. What do we get? We get Like a woodcutter stump would be really cool. I don't know if there's an axe though. If there's an axe, I can make one probably with like one of these stumps here and just sort of. Actually, you know what I can do? Sort of do that, and then. Let's see. There must be something. Come on, there must be something. Some sort of axe or something. Okay, let's type in axe maybe. Okay, so we do have an axe. I see one right there, but I can't pull it off this individual thing. So let's go. Maybe miscellaneous exterior has them broken up. No. Miscellaneous exterior. Oh, you know what I should do? I should grab that crow. There's a crow somewhere in here. There is a separate crow. I know it's out here. Maybe it's under the animals section. It's probably under nature. I saw it. Aha! Found you. Yeah, let's throw you. Yeah, perching on top of this thing here. Almost got it on the right spot. Not even close. Wow, I'm really bad at this. Okay, and then excellent. Where should he be looking, actually? Maybe sort of off in the distance, kind of. Okay, and then. Alright. You can be sort of standing there, sort of giving you the beady eye if you're looking this way. And then also potentially looking at you, maybe if you're over there. Okay, so let's throw in some of these guys, maybe. Well, let's sort of design our own here. I do like that they give you the option of individual leaves, because designing your own is quite fun. Like that there, I can fit something in there perfectly, and there's no way they could have done that with an existing plant. Like, I'm actually very much excited if they gave us more of these individual elements by themselves so you could place them on their own. Now, I don't know if that actually ends up costing them a shit ton more in sort of memory and individual objects. I bet it does. The more I think about it, yeah, it's almost definitely doing that. But it would be super nice. Okay, and then maybe go like swamp tiles are not the correct, like they're not, and being orange is just throwing me off here. And then I think I need something else here. Yeah, we'll do this one here. And maybe we'll grab one of these guys. Okay. That works for the most part. There we go. Yeah, so really at the end of the time, like at the end of the day, I'm sort of like now looking around for any portion of it that sort of jumps out to me and just says, this looks boring. So like right over here, this looks kind of boring. This part looks kind of boring. So let's get some rocks. What do we got here for rocks? And then maybe we'll throw out some like other barrels or something, maybe some interior objects. What are these guys here? Come on. This is an actual tile. What I would like is prop objects. Yeah, that works. No. Sort of rubble. I kind of like the rubble. Oh yeah, and that's one thing. So in the first episode, I added these sort of rocks up, or the stonework up here. It doesn't really go with the rest of the aesthetic of the building, but honestly, I like them so much that I have to keep them. But what I'm thinking is I'll add maybe a couple stone pillars in there just to sort of tie it together. But in the meantime, that is not the case. I have not done that yet, but I'm going to, I think. Okay. So let's grab, let's do those bushes again. And then what we'll do is maybe grab another little one of these trees here. How much is that invading in? That looks kind of cool, yeah. Honestly, she's kind of let the whole thing sort of, the whole swampy area invade into her place anyways, so like what's the difference? Okay, so let's grab this one. And then what we'll do is we'll try to loop this around. Nope, it's not that one. I'll loop this one around. Because one of those mud sides is closer than the other. Or is different than the other. Alright. That's looking pretty good to me. Let me just see, before I forget, I'm gonna run inside here and see if I can add some pillars. Some stone pillars, and we'll just turn on the build light. And let's see what we got for a pillar. We do have these stone pillars. But they're not quite the stone pillar that I'm looking for. How about this one? Can I use these ones anywhere? Nope. I mean, that's not the worst on the inside there. The only problem is it does sort of stick out at the top there. Damn it. Okay, do we have any more of these? Like go into the castle ruins. Let's see, there must be a pillar in here. We have these corner pieces. How is there no single wall piece? There must be. Yes, there is. Okay, so what if I sort of do that? Now, what is that light coming from? Is there a lantern right there? There probably is. Okay, so what if we grab you, and slide you down, and then we'll just sort of put you in there. We'll use the other side. Nope. Okay. And then we'll throw maybe another pillar into... does that work? Nope, it does not. I could change out... I could pull that and put in sort of this one. Oh, you're not letting me drop that in. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe what I'll do is I'll throw in a few of those corners. I do like these wooden corners, but maybe actually what I'll do is, okay, so I'll remove these ones. I'll remove this one. And then I'll come over here. And I'll remove this one as well. And then we'll put in some of these stone ones in the corners instead. And then, oh, and then I can show you what Zed fighting is. Oh, no, I can't. Never mind, these ones don't do it. Oh, kind of. No, not really. These ones don't do it. Okay. That kind of works out anyways. So that sort of gives us a little bit more stone just to tie the rest of the building together. So there is some stone coming all the way up through. There is some stone throughout. So next time we will clean up. But before we do that, let's play around with some of these settings here. So this is darkness. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I did forget something. Alright, we're not done. We're not quite done here. We're not quite done. Okay. Let's get this fishing pole that I saw earlier. And we're going to turn off that build light. Just sort of leave that in there. And then throw this one out here. And I think these guys are actually what I put in this pool, so okay. And then what I want to do really quickly is grab one of these vines and just sort of have them sort of growing everywhere, you know? And then, okay, I think that works. Okay. Oh, and what would be really nice, actually, while I'm down here, is to go into the lights, and that's the reason why I even remembered, and throw a little lantern at the edge here. Now, is there anything that sort of works? I mean, this one works, but not for a witch's hut. Same with these ones. These are like streets, obviously. Yeah, I think that works. So let's take a look at this again in the darkness. If I change the post effects to enchanted, and let's pull down the effect, and let's change the theme here. Try vile crop, and fog multiplier. How does this look? Wow, I think there's been some heavy inspiration from Diablo in this soundtrack, and I'm very into it. Yes, this looks like something you'd find sort of deep in the swamp. Alright, let's change it. Got the green slump. Actually, the green slump kind of works really well now. I see it with all the rest of those effects on it. I kind of really like that one. Actually, we're going to just chuck this down as an option here. And there we go. I mean, that's more or less the build. Next time, we're going to sort of wrap this up and clean up everything. But I think overall, pretty happy with how this turned out. And I had a lot of fun doing this, so definitely more videos to come, I am sure. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time in the cleanup final phase of this series. And yeah, have a good one.